WrestleMania this past Sunday. It would be a bit different, and it really would change things up from what we have seen year after year, and consequently all the time in the Divas division with different challenges for champions like Nikki Bella, who have been champion before. It's deja vu all over again. That's what it feels like. It's either that or WWE are trying to convince us that people like AJ and Paige are reality stars and meant to be the next reality stars, and the possible departure of the Bella Twins. I did a video blog on the departure of the Bella Twins. You know what I feel about the Bella Twins leaving the WWE and how much of a disastrous position, precarious position, and predicament it puts the Divas division in. I recently said goodbye to the Bella Twins. I don't know when they're leaving. The obviously predicted date they're going to be leaving is the next major pay-per-view, SummerSlam. Hopefully we're going to see more from the Bella Twins leading up to that, and hopefully more will be done with the Divas division in the very near future. Really looking forward to finding out where we go from here in the fallout of WrestleMania as it pertains to the Divas division, which is getting better all the time. The thing is about the Divas division is you can criticize the Divas division all you want, but the thing is the Divas division is getting better all the time. Also in the fallout of WrestleMania, because there isn't really much more to talk about from this year's WrestleMania, only the entrances, which I will not get into. You know, the Army Tank entrance of Rusev, the Robot entrance of Triple H, the Sting entrance, so many great entrances along with a phenomenal attendance record, but things in the fallout of WrestleMania that really impressed me. The Lucha Dragons in that tag team match on Monday Night Raw were impressive. Sin Cara teaming up with an upcoming superstar. Definitely, it's amazing seeing the Lucha Dragons in WWE. Neville was a great debut also. He went one-on-one in an individual match on Monday Night Raw. It was great seeing him make the debut that he did, and he was really impressive. So we had impressive debuts of Lucha Dragons and the Neville character from the first time from NXT. So I'm really looking forward to finding out where they go with the Lucha Dragons and Neville, because I think they have great futures in store for them. Obviously in the tag team division for the Lucha Dragons, and possibly something like the Intercontinental or United States title division for Adrian Neville. Something I would like to see done with Adrian Neville's character, because I'm really trying to just figure out what they're going to do with the Lucha Dragons, but something I would like to see done with Adrian Neville's character is with John Cena putting over Adrian Neville a couple of months back in a promo, saying that he was one of the future stars from NXT to come over to WWE, who was never given the benefit of the doubt, where John Cena is the United States champion currently right now. I'd love to see John Cena go up against Adrian Neville in a match based off the respect both individuals have for one another, or some sort of issue that Adrian Neville could develop for John Cena in coming weeks. Also, there was a lot of questions revolving around Sheamus and how he turned into a heel. I wasn't expecting that at all, and I wasn't expecting this metamorphosis Sheamus went through in the fall of WrestleMania. I initially predicted he was going to return as part of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He didn't return as part of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but we were seeing his promo. The reason why I thought that was because we were seeing his promo of his return week after week after week after week, and nothing was being done with it. He wasn't popping up. There was nothing interesting happening with Sheamus's character. There was no teasers of Sheamus returning. We didn't know the tentative date of when he was returning. People were just throwing their predictions left and right out on social media. And Sheamus returned the night after, rather than being in part of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal with this new look, the mohawk, the dreadlocks in his beard, and he just says he's back with no explanation as to why. He's back. Hopefully in the coming weeks we'll find out the direction of his character, and we're going to find out what they're going to be doing with the Lucha Dragons and Neville. Possibly Neville will face John Cena if Sheamus doesn't take that claim away from him, and then something will be done with Sheamus's character, and we'll get answers as to what is going to happen there. And I'm also really happy that Randy Orton now has been reevaluated by WWE, and WWE realizes now that WWE should be putting Randy Orton in a better position than what they have been putting him in ever since his return. It made sense for Randy Orton to beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That was the only thing creatively done with Seth Rollins' character, in my opinion, in my estimation. At WrestleMania, it made perfect sense to have Seth Rollins lose to Randy Orton with all the torture Randy Orton had been put through because of the Authority and Seth Rollins. And I really approve of Randy Orton being one of the possible contenders we have for the new champion, Seth Rollins. I'd love to see a couple of one-on-one matches between Rollins and Orton over the championship. If we don't get the triple threat match or fatal four match involving people like Reigns and Lesnar, which I do predict we're going to see at some point, if not at Extreme Rules. Really looking forward to seeing possible matches between Rollins and Orton for the title, because I think it's time for Randy Orton to have been reevaluated, which he has been, obviously. I like the new look of Randy Orton with the shoulder pads. I like the new look of Randy Orton with the new ring attire. I think that Randy Orton is in a position far better than what he has been in recent years of his career to be champion and capitalize on the opportunity. Let's just hope that Randy Orton does that, because I know there are a lot of Randy Orton fans out there just looking on Google and all the Randy Orton articles that have been published by columnists and radio shows that have been devoted to talking about Randy Orton. God knows I have done a fair share of video blogs on Randy Orton. I'm more of a Randy Orton fan than when I was a decade ago. 10 years ago, if you were asking me my opinion on Randy Orton, I would have said he's a piece of shit. And he still is a piece of shit in a lot of ways. But I'm more of a fan of Randy Orton than what I was 10 years ago in 2005, when Randy Orton was all about himself and just being an image a girl absolutely fell in love with. I hated that about Randy Orton. So I'm more of a fan of Randy Orton now with the psychology that Randy Orton is implying to his character, and how he's just ego-driven and he just wants to be about himself, and he'll do anything to get over. He's just got this crazy viper-like attitude that is going to take him places in WWE. He's kind of like, someone like a Brian Pillman kind of psychoticness like Dean Ambrose kind of has. He's been exemplifying that Brian Pillman kind of psychoticness like Dean Ambrose, and I think that's going to go places where people like Randy Orton, that kind of psychology and that kind of psychoticness is going to take people like Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose to places they've never been, and some of the more unpredictable places that you never thought they would go. So look for people like Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose to be definitely elevated in the coming weeks. When it comes to predictions as to futures in the WWE, definitely Adrian Neville, Lucha Dragons, Randy Orton, and Dean Ambrose are people you should pay attention to and give the benefit of the doubt to, because it's a new year for WWE. Every year after WrestleMania, it's considered the kickoff of a new year, a new season, if you would, in WWE. And I predict there's going to be a big year for people like Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton, and the Lucha Dragons. So definitely pay attention to those characters, because you're not going to want to miss what they do. But when it comes to a 5-star scale perspective rating for this year's WrestleMania, I mean, if I were to rate it in terms of a description for this year's WrestleMania, I would say fucking shit. Because really that's all WrestleMania amounted to, with some of the fallout, especially in the fallout of the main events. And again, I really feel for the fans of Sting who went in to WrestleMania 31 thinking he was going to win that match, because I too had initially predicted that Sting was going to win the match, and I was really disappointed in the fact that Sting didn't win the match. So hopefully Sting has some sort of future with the company, and we're going to see Sting wrestle again. I just want to know when Sting is going to wrestle again, and who Sting is going to wrestle against. Those are two very important questions I want to answer about Sting, and I wish I had the answers to, who Sting was going to wrestle against next, or when Sting was going to wrestle again. But, it just really disappointed me how Sting lost the match in the way that he did. And I think that WWE Creative definitely need to be held accountable for how that, was handled, because I really thought Sting was going to come out of the match and be treated far better than what he was. Being kicked in the face is no way to treat a legend like him, and having The Undertaker lose the year prior to WrestleMania 31 is no way to treat a legend like him. So there are still a lot of unanswered questions I wish I had the answers to in the fallout. What I definitely can get away with saying, or at least I hope I can get away with saying, was one of the worst WrestleManias that I have seen in years. And believe me when I tell you, this had to have been the worst WrestleMania since at least WrestleMania 22. Either that, WrestleMania 22, or WrestleMania 27 from about 4 years ago, when The Rock returned, and we thought it was going to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, with John Cena versus The Miz. All in all, there are more reasons to be frustrated with this year's WrestleMania fallout than any other WrestleMania prior to this one. Hopefully next year for WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, we're going to have a better WrestleMania fallout to talk about than what we did this year. I mean, it goes back to, WrestleManias of the past, like WrestleMania 22 and WrestleMania 27, even last year's WrestleMania with Dave Bautista. That kind of puts me in mind of what they did with Dave Bautista. He came back, he won the Royal Rumble, he went to the main event of WrestleMania, and he lost. He tapped out to Daniel Bryan, and nothing was done with his character. He was the third party of Evolution to face the fucking Shield, so nothing was done with his character, and that's kind of what it puts me in mind of. Again, The Rock returning for WrestleMania in 2011 for WrestleMania 27. So many letdowns over the years for WrestleMania, but this had to be the biggest letdown I have ever seen or ever witnessed in all the years that I've covered this sport. And I have more of a reason to be disappointed with the fallout of WrestleMania, as I'm sure you do too, because WrestleMania 31 probably let millions of others down like it did me. Really disappointed in the fallout of WrestleMania, and I wish there were more positive things to talk about in the aftermath of what I can get away with saying, or at least I hope I can get away with saying, was the worst WrestleMania of all time. Down in the comments is where you can tell me what you thought of this year's WrestleMania and what you thought of this WrestleMania 31 Fallout shoot video, which I'll be throwing up on our YouTube channel over the next little while at Jonathan Clark 22. You can leave us your comments. You can also tweet me your thoughts on WrestleMania 31 at Jonathan Clark 1, and you can throw up your thoughts on WrestleMania 31's Fallout in a message on our Facebook page or by leaving it for us in a message on our Facebook wall in a post at HEW Entertainment. And if your thoughts are definitely good thoughts, I will share them with our fans who have subscribed to our show. Over 1,500 fans have gotten in on the conversation, 1,555, 39,000 tweets on Twitter, and over 55,000 channel views, almost 56,000 on YouTube. It blows my mind. I can't even believe it. 55,000 channel views on YouTube. That says a lot. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, all you got to do is subscribe to the top of the page and get in on the conversation. You are more than welcome to leave comments on your thoughts on the fallout of WrestleMania 31 and this WrestleMania 31 fallout shoot, which indeed it was. And who knows, if WrestleMania 31 is as disastrous as this year's WrestleMania 32, we'll talk about it and we'll do another fallout shoot sometime next year. Because believe me when I tell you, the thing to hope for in the fallout, the only thing we can hope for in the fallout of WrestleMania 31 is that 32 next year in Dallas will be a lot better than this one, because there are more things that I hated about the fallout of this year's WrestleMania than I did concur with, because there are more things about this year's WrestleMania that were just absolutely pathetic. One of the biggest issues, of course, that I had was the fact that Sting lost. And again, I feel for every affiliate with WCW who had to witness this and had to witness another WCW icon be made a mockery of, in my opinion, because really that's all they did with Sting's character was make a mockery out of someone who had contributed so much. Sting is like the Batman, in my opinion, of professional wrestling. Batman gave us so much as a comic book character for DC since 1940, and Sting has given us so much at the age of 58 now. You would have thought he would have come in and he would have beat Triple H if they were going to do anything with Sting, and it's just so frustrating to me, have to witnessing Sting lose the way that he did and have to talk about how Sting lost in his very first match. It'd be different if it was his third or his fourth match. If it was the way of Brock Lesnar losing a match to Triple H at WrestleMania in 2013, the way they went about Brock Lesnar, debuting, dominating against John Cena. At least Brock Lesnar losing his first match to John Cena. In losing, Brock Lesnar went down with a hell of a fight. Sting didn't go down with a hell of a fight. He was just made a mockery of. He was just stomped on.